unseen, unforeseen circumstances. We just woke up in Lagos about 2 days. For 2 days now, it has been hellish somehow. We didn't plan for all these things while we were making preparations for the Xmas period. But here we are. So we just have to factor in all those things. And for that same go for every other one that will be traveling. That you just need to note that, look, the road cannot just be as free as you had thought it should be. You know that you are going to Enugu. You have calculated, or let's say just Ibadan. So, okay, since I'm going to Ibadan, I know that within an hour or 1.5 hours, I'll be there. But you need to also make allowances for all this. How about when you get to Otedola and what you are seeing in Otedola now is there? How do you navigate about it? Now, is that part of journey planning and management? That's also part of what the problem we are having on the road. People don't seem to plan and make ahead that there are other hazards on the road. And like you said in your prologue, the hazards are increasing with all the people traveling. As more vehicles, the more vehicles you have on the road, the more hazardous the road becomes, because you can only trust your own driving habits and practices. How about her? You can only trust about the state of your vehicle. How about her own state of the vehicle? Did he do what you did before you embarked on your own journey in terms of servicing the vehicle, ensuring that it's in good condition, changing your tires, ensuring that just as you are healthy to make the journey, that the vehicle is also sound to make the journey. If you go on the road now, you see some broken down vehicles in the midst of all this. Just a little fuel hold up they met on the road, the vehicle is already having overheating. So that will tell you that from day one, that vehicle was not actually sound to make that journey. So that's just it.
So that is, some of those things you need to consider first. Okay, now let's come to the part of the road safety. What are the measures that have been put in place to ensure that people move from one end to another without having to, encounter issues that could affect them?
What we did before now was to do, for every command, in Lagos, for example, what we did was do a road audit and route analysis of all the critical highways that we know that people will be using this period. If you go and take the traffic count, you see that the volume outwards is more than people coming in. So we have looked at all those areas. We have identified the critical gridlock areas. We have also identified the crash-prone areas and made provisions on terms of personnel and equipment deployment along these routes. In Lagos, we have 3 major critical corridors that catches our attention at a period like this. We are looking at Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That is the major arterial route of this country. You are looking at Lekki-Epe, and you are looking at Maitu-Badagry. As I speak to you now, just as Lagos-Ibadan is busy, that's the same thing with Lekki-Epe. If you call people on that axis, they will also tell you what they are experiencing. So we've been able to identify all those traffic gridlock areas and where the crashes normally occur, and make provision for help areas where we put up tents. If you go to Peak now, as you are driving out of your station here, you see the tent there, our men with the ambulance inside it, and our men also there on standby in case of anything. You also see tow trucks that we have partnered with the private tow truck operators to put tow trucks at strategic locations where hitherto we have noticed breakdowns, at those places, so that in the event of anything, we pull off. If you get to Mowe, you see the FRSC heavy duty tow truck there. I can easily call it coming this way, or it can go towards the Shagamu axis. Then we now also closed down our operations within the city center and pulled everybody, in terms of the personnel, in terms of all the vehicles there, pulled everybody to these critical corridors as I'm telling you about, just in anticipation that we know that definitely the volume of traffic is going to increase within this period, and we need to put measures to counter any measure. Nevertheless, at a point in time, we are now changing strategy, because we didn't envisage that the fuel queue will be a problem now. So we have even tinkered with our deployment strategy now, that in the morning, the first thing you now do is to line people up anywhere you see filling station that is selling, so that we can be able to streamline the fuel queue and get them to be on one lane, so that the rest of us can use the other lane to navigate our way out of Lagos. So having done all those things, we expect that in the event of any obstruction, we'll be able to remove it timely. In the event of any crash, we'll be able to respond correctly. Now we have lowered our enforcement, so to say, just to the main basic, maybe when it is obvious that you have loaded your vehicle to high heavens, then we can now, But coming to the issue of ordinary, all those small arrests, we say no, the emphasis now is on free flow of traffic. Just keep the traffic moving. The promise we made to Nigerians or Lagosians in particular is that instead of anybody sleeping on that road, let us be the one that is sleeping. And we have started sleeping. We have opened up our camp in Ojodu there, where all those people we drew from the city center, they are now there sleeping there. We can live as early as 5 a.m. We're already on the lane, and we close as late as 10 p.m. So these are part of the strategies we put in place.
Okay. You've reeled out a lot of things that the FRSA has put in place to ensure safety on the road and free flow of traffic. It's that side especially, and then safety. But let's look at the personnel. Yeah. You've said you've done massive deployment. You've withdrawn from the city center to the critical
highways,
points.
Yes.
But there are three areas I want us to discuss. The ones you pulled from inside the town to your camp areas, more like camping them now for the task at hand. What have you done for them to be able to manage stress? Because in working, that stress, if they're not able to manage the stress, it will affect the way they relate with the drivers and all.
Exactly.
So what's on ground for them to be able to manage the stress level? Because it definitely goes up at this time.
You're correct. Over time, I think when you're used to doing a particular job, year in, year out, I think you tend to get used to certain things. There are some behaviors that are exhibited by drivers that we are already used to. We are accustomed to it. So you discover that when you push us, you think we will react the way you think we will react. We just see that some of us have really developed shock absorbers to some of those tantrums. That's motorists do exhibit. But outside of that, over time, we have continued to engage our personnel in in-house capacity building, including bringing external resource persons, experts in human relations, PR and human relations, to also talk to us.